Yeah, we did some good things. We did some bad things, and but for this time of year, we was somewhat pleased. We've got to do a much better job on the defensive end, but I thought we competed and got a lot of room for improvement, like most teams in the country at this time of year.
Coach Harper, I'll introduce myself first. We met a while back. I'm Mark Edwards with the Anniston Star.
Yep.
I know most people would look at this as a pretty big rebuilding project, but have you found it so? Because it seems like you got some pretty good guys on board to play for your team.
Well, I mean, anytime I started with a new team, I don't look at it as rebuilding. Yeah, I think with this group, I mean, we've got 5 guys back from last year and then 8 new guys. It's more getting acquainted and getting to know each other, understanding what I expect from them, and kind of understanding where they're most comfortable on the offensive end, where they're going to score the ball the best. And as time goes on, I've always said, you know, I've got to find out which guys can I trust in a one-point game they're going to execute and do the right thing. And, you know, we may not score, but they're going to execute and at least give us a chance. And you know, those are questions that I can't answer yet. We've not been put in that situation. We will soon. And but I like this group. They work hard, and I think we've got a chance to get better.
Scored 100 points. That hasn't happened here in a while. Is that kind of indicative of what the different look is going to be now?
I mean, we're going to play fast. You know, at times we probably played a little too fast in times in the game the other night. Took some shots too quick in transition. But those, look, I want shooters to shoot, and I don't want them to think, is this a good shot, bad shot? I'll let them know when we watch tape, or at times, come on, tone it down. But I thought at times we did a really good job of making the extra pass and turning down good shots for great shots, and that's what good offensive teams do. You're not going to make all those shots, but you have to turn down good shots for great shots. When I watch the tape, you know, we gave up 82 points. 15 of them we can get corrected today. We helped out of the ball side corner 3 times, gave up 3 threes, and we gambled twice and gave up 2 threes. That's 15 points that we should have eliminated just by being smart and being solid. So, you know, I saw some good things. Everybody got the opportunity to play. And, you know, we still had one kid that was out, and he had practiced with us for about an hour prior to Friday in 2 weeks. So we've not had our complete team on the floor at any time since we started practice. So we're still mixing some pieces and trying to find out what will work best.
When you're trying to figure out what works best, I mean, I saw 14 players in, which is the way it goes in exhibition season. Do you project having a deep bench like that?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be up to those guys. If guys, how we determine who's going to play is how they practice. And anybody that's ever played for me will tell you that, you know, it can change, and it can change quick. You know, I've had walk-ons in the past that started the year that never played, and by the end of the year they were starting. The guys that stay consistent, the guys that grind every day, that bring a good attitude to work, that work hard, they do really well. It's the guys that have the peaks and valleys that struggle. So if they'll stay consistent with their work ethic and their attitude, they'll do fine. And are we going to play 14? I hope not. I'd like to, you know, have it down to 8 or 9 by time we get into January and February.
As you've gone around to speak, how have you found basketball to sell around here?
I mean, you know, again, we're going to do what we do, and you know, I've been in a lot of places. I've coached in Oklahoma. I played in Texas, and every time I looked up, it wasn't about whether they were playing with the weird size ball or a round ball. I mean, it was about, was it entertaining, and are they winning? I mean, if I can't control whether a person likes something or doesn't like something, we're going to do what we do, and we're going to try to do it really well. If you like to watch guys compete and play hard, then I think you probably should get out to Pete Matthews and watch us play.
Coach, if you could talk about each of the two guys you have with us. Tell us a little bit about each one.
I'll start with Tuck, senior. Again, one of the guys that was here last year, and I think I said this when I spoke to a group the other day. I expect him to have a big year, and I expect him to have a big year because he works. He's in the gym late at night. I know he's been in the weight room this morning, and I've never seen a guy that does those type of things and are hungry not be successful. He's talented, and he's probably been the guy that I've looked to kind of help us get this thing rolling, going the right direction the most. So, and then G is a junior. He's a junior college transfer from Midland Junior College in Texas. Extremely talented. As he practiced one day prior to
Not even one day.
not even one full day. But we've got big expectations for him. I mean, 6'11", 7 foot, that can stretch a defense. He can score it around the basket. And I think it's going to really play well for us. It gives us some size inside that I think has been lacking in the past.
I guess when it comes to the schedule, it's a heavy road schedule. How important does that bring up the emphasis on figuring some stuff out on the exhibition schedule before you hit the road? I think one home game before January.
Yeah, probably, and to make sure, one thing I check with our guys about is make sure that we have big enough bags for these guys to travel with, because, I mean, we've got one home game before January. You can look at any schedule in the country, nobody's playing a schedule like that. Nobody. It's not ideal. It's not what we anticipated, what we wanted when we got here, but it was what it was. And the good thing is we're going to get challenged every single night. So when we get into January and February and we're playing the OVC, there shouldn't be anything that we haven't seen. So we roll into Tennessee Martin Open Conference play. I mean, we would have been in some tougher places than Martin, Tennessee to win. And, the thing about college basketball, 86% of the time the home team wins, unlike any other sport. But we're going to try to change that this year. And, we're going to walk into some tough arenas against some really good teams. But I think if we'll compete and we'll stay together, we will get better because of it. And our whole goal was to try to be ready when December 28th rolled around.
Greg, you transferred in last year, new guys, new system, everything, and now the coaching changed. But are you more comfortable this year than you were at this time last year?
I'm definitely more comfortable with my role with the team now this year than last year. Coach Harper and the staff just have given me a lot of more confidence than I had probably in the past. So, yeah, I would say I'm more confident.
As a guard, do you like the more up-tempo style of play?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's going to give us a lot of opportunities, to score the ball, whether it be for me or myself or another person on the team. Somebody's going to get a chance to score. It's going to be a lot of fun for people to watch, too. It's going to attract a lot of fans. So we're all happy with the style of play that we're playing now.
I'll say we're going to play fast. I don't want that to be misconstrued. We're not going to play crazy. We had 19 turnovers the other night. That's entirely too many turnovers. I mean, it's just like you go out and you get in your car. Yeah, it might go 100, but you can slow it down to 50 as well if you're running into something on the side of the road. So if we're going to continue to turn it over 19 or 20 times, we'll take the foot off the gas pedal and see if they like playing that way better. I always use the analogy with kids, if I gave you a new car, would you go out and run into the side of a brick building? No, you'd take care of it, and that's how we have to treat a basketball. But I'm not overly concerned that we turned it over 19 times. And I know you're like, why not? Because it's our first time ever playing together. Some of the plays were, I don't know what G was doing. He took off running from the top of the key and just ran over a guy. Some of them were those type of plays that when they see the film, they're like, okay, I need to tone it down a little bit.
Obviously, you're going to play a 94-foot game offensively. What about defensively?
We will mix it up. I mean, we'll press you at times. We'll zone you at times. We'll soft zone you at times. Depends on who we're playing. We've had to get so much in such a short period of time that I don't feel like we've got to find a balance. Where are we best right now? And where we're best right now doesn't necessarily mean that's where we'll be the best in January. And by that I mean right now I think probably a half-court man-to-man team is what you're going to see the most. But we've had a lot more time to work on our full-court pressure. That may be where we're at best come January. So, I mean, we'll have all those type of things in our package, but, just a matter of when we'll pull them out and use them.
Ray, you got a couple of kids from overseas on this roster. How has international basketball impacted college basketball over the last 15, 20 years?
Well, I know it's going to impact Jacksonville State in a positive way. I think we've got one of the best bigs in the OVC right here. What I've found with those guys, and I've had guys from overseas for probably as long as I've ever coached, is usually they're a little bit more appreciative of the opportunity. I've had guys I had a kid a couple years ago that for the first 6 months they was on campus, I never once saw him without a smile. He was always upbeat, he was happy. He went the first 6 games and never got in the game. And every single day he came to practice, he was our hardest worker. And all of a sudden you looked up and we were playing Kansas in the NCAA tournament, and he was starting and had 14 points, 12 rebounds, just because he kept working. He didn't have all the outside influences in his ear. You need to transfer, you need to do this, your coach is not playing you enough. No, he was trying to get an education. He was trying to get a degree. He did in 3.5 years. So again, I liked them, and what I found, sometimes their basketball IQ is a little bit better than the American player. And maybe because they're able to get more than 20 hours a week with them. I don't know.
Gee, smile. There you go.
He smiles. I do.
G, were you, I'll say, anxious? Heard you know, that you didn't know if you were going to get to play. All this was going on. The NCAA clearinghouse finally got it all straightened out. But or did you just sort of plan it that way, where you have to go through all this practice time?
Yeah, kind of, right? I was anxious, and the day that I found out I was clear, I just jumped straight in the drill. Coach Harper looked at me like, "Are you crazy? What are you doing?" And then I just told him that I'm clear and I'm ready to go.